Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior. Tech goes by many names. Business, fine art, forensic science. Some think it's just technical. But really, tech means everything. Scholarships, internships, championships. It's professors who make time for you one-on-one. It's putting everything on the line. It can be fierce. It can be fascinating. It can be awesome. Most important, it's believing in yourself and what you have to offer the world. Because at Indiana Tech, warriors are prepared to lead a significant life.
You're busy. You expect to say no sometimes. But what you didn't expect was a chance to say yes to a college degree while keeping your life. Indiana Tech is now offering Chicago area students undergraduate and graduate degree opportunities taught online by experienced faculty who care. Learn more at one of the new Indiana Tech enrollment centers in Naperville or Wilmette.
I can turn this in early? Sure, whenever you're ready.
Embrace the unexpected at Indiana Tech.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that there aren't very many energy programs out there. When I researched all of the various programs recently, there are really only 2 or 3 accredited engineering programs.
I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada originally. I came out here to Indiana Tech to actually go for the energy engineering program because of its uniqueness and its ability to get hands-on with the materials that I'm going to be using in the future.
Well, a few of the things I think that sets Indiana Tech apart is, number one, you have very small classes. You have very close relationships with your professors. When you have a class of 10 people, it's much easier to get to know the professor and get in contact with him than if you have a class of 30, 40, or 50. You're going to have the same professors for the majority of your classes. You're going to have the same classmates for the majority of your classes.
The more practical applications come in all the subsequent energy engineering classes. He transfers in a class that right after they're leaving the classroom, and the board is filled with calculus. So in order to understand a lot of these topics, they're going to need to understand the calculus there. Calculus is the study of the rate of change, how fast things change. And depending upon whether it's energy engineering, industrial engineering, or whatever, they're going to need to use that and apply that.
Professor Romary, he stands out to me the most right now because when I first got here, I had to take calculus, Calc 1, Calc 2. And he's one of the professors that teaches it. And he just really was a very kind and helpful guy, and he did whatever he could to help us out. He was very funny, always had a way of creatively teaching calculus to us that not a whole lot of people can do. And I think that and how he did it is going to be something that's going to stick for me for a very long time.
The field work that Indiana Tech can provide here is, for example, we have a 10 kilowatt windmill that the students can work with. We have a geothermal system for a couple of the buildings for Utang-Sioux and for Zollner that uses geothermal principles to heat and cool the buildings in the summer and the winter.
The PV array system, training system that we have down here in the basement allows us to wire up the panels we have down in the basement to set it up as a off-the-grid system or a battery bank system, which helps us because we can see every component of the system actually intertwining and how they work together, which is something that may not be easily visible when you're on the job site in a career. So definitely my internship at Super Value Incorporated was a very, very beneficial program for me to be in. It was more based on the process and logistical side of engineering of my degree, not necessarily the design aspect. It helped me really learn how the most efficient way to do a task and some of the boundaries that come with trying to make things more efficient.
One of the things that we've been very fortunate here at Indiana Tech is that we've had a grant through AEP to help subsidize our students in taking some of the various trips in spring break. Over the last 4 years, I have taken, along with a couple of other chaperones, I've taken almost a couple of dozen students to a trip to Germany and Switzerland that focused on renewable energy. We've gone to Iceland last year, focusing on geothermal energy, and we just recently returned from a trip to Costa Rica.
Just last year, I went to Iceland with a couple of our peers, not even just energy engineers, but a couple of other engineering majors went along with us. And for me, that was the highlight of my college time. I mean, we learned a lot about like geothermal systems and how they converted to a country of basically like ran just by geothermal. But it wasn't just learning about that, it was also learning about their culture as well, you know, and the past and the history and where they plan to go in their future. And all those things combined, I think, really kind of defines my experience here in Indiana Tech.
You can be the smartest engineer in the world, but if you cannot talk to or work with other engineers and non-engineers, it's very hard to get anything done. I try to teach my students that while you may not like writing, it's going to be a part of the job. You have to communicate. If you're doing experiments or testing hardware in the lab, you need to write it up so that other people know what you did, and the customer may want to know what are the results of that test.
Something I would remember most about the faculty would be just the one-on-one aspect of it and how open they are to hearing your problems and concerns and willing to assist you. Indiana Tech, with the class sizes being so small, you really get that one-on-one talking, everyday type relationship with your advisors and your professors. And having that is key to success, I feel, because being able to communicate with them and actually get your problems and questions across is going to help clarify things for you while you're in classes in school, which is going to set you up for success.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our camera. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
On a balmy 29-degree afternoon in the 260, we welcome you to the Schaefer Center and an important WAC matchup here on Kilmer Court, as it's your Indiana Tech Warriors taking on the Goshen College Maple Leafs. And an exciting match last night that the Warriors fell just a little bit short, but now looking to rebound in a game that's quite important in the WHAC standings, as currently both teams sitting at the 6th and 7th spots respectively. And of course, we didn't make that up. They are indeed at the 6th and 7th spots respectively, looking to try to get up to the top of the table, and still some work left to do with the season already in full swing. Good afternoon, everyone. Joe Northern alongside the Glue, Caden Linder. Again, you have to think, though, with both of these teams, they have a lot of young energy really riding in the momentum for them, and yet Indiana Tech getting so close after being down 2-0, but then dropping set number 5, 15-13. What do you think's going through the Warriors' heads right now?
Well, yeah, they're just going to be wanting to come into this game and ready to go after that tough loss to Bethel last night. And one key factor they're going to need is Dylan Poore, 113 kills on the season, just doing an excellent job on the outside. And then serving for him, Christian Kolb, 18 aces so far on the season for him, getting him going early in the game, just really dominating early in this one.
Really, last night we noticed not a bunch of aces on the board for IT. It was very much a long, grind it out, get at least 2-3 passes across on each serve, and again, continuing to keep the long rallies going, whereas we've seen Tech really like to be quick and precise, but did a good job of adapting to the long game as it stands. And you mentioned Dylan Poor, too. He led the way with 17 kills last night. Logan Gieske with 14 along the way. Meanwhile, for the Goshen College Maple Leafs, they come in at 6-10 on the season, but already well deep into their WAC play as it stands right now. Still trying to find the right way up, as they did get a win over Defiance last night, 3-0. But started their season off on a little bit of a cold streak, going 1-4. Now standing as it stands right now, 6-10. Again, Goshen, a very young team trying to find some momentum in their first-year head coach.
Yeah, 2-2 in the last 4 games, and Sawyer Freistock leading the way in kills with 91. And digs for him, Andrea Beefy, 99 digs for him on the season. So just trying to find their momentum now early in the year, just trying to find things the way it should be. And an interesting contest here today against Indiana Tech.
Absolutely should be a fun one in store here at the Schaefer Center, as Indiana Tech again looking to try to rewrite the ship and get the momentum back in their direction. Goshen also trying to ride a little bit of momentum. The Warriors trying to improve to 6-5. The Maple Leafs trying to go to 7-10. We'll be back with your starting lineups coming up in just a moment.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I decided if I was going to come to Indiana Tech, I was going to be a different kind of instructor. I was really going to focus on connecting with students, teaching the students the theory that they needed, and also the practical applications.
Very practically, what that looks like is smaller class sizes. So my class sizes are the 8 to 10 up to maybe 20. And that's backed up with, we have 18 hours of office hours every week. I'm sitting in my office waiting for students to come in to talk about anything. It doesn't just have to be with the classroom.
In the College of Engineering, we have ABET accreditation for mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and biomedical engineering. ABET is the top accrediting board for engineering in the United States and probably in the world.
Another thing that is a very different approach at Indiana Tech, I think, that some other universities, is we try and make sure they have a lot of lab experience in the engineering department. All engineering programs are going to have laboratory courses, but in our laboratory courses, we try to get them not just exposure to measurements and exposure to some of the devices that you'll be used, but I like to actually assign projects that are, realistic projects.
Those projects, this project-based learning, help students to work together in a group and be hands-on with their the material or the product that they're creating. Engineering students at Indiana Tech are, to me, stand out because I know that they've had a lot of experiences working in groups, working on projects, doing lab experiments to help them understand the material, and I think that prepares them well for industry.
First thing I'll tell a high school student is study, study, study. Get all the math you can possibly get. I honestly believe that the critical thinking skills you learn in math courses will help you with engineering courses.
The type of knowledge base that students should have coming in, they need to be problem solvers and critical thinkers. Those two things are really the essence of engineering. Regardless of flavor, they're going to need to figure out, there's a problem here, how do I solve it? And they need to think critically about that. They need to observe, listen to people, and then kick in those problem-solving skills to solve the problem.
Part of the growth of Indiana Tech has involved an increasing number of international students. So I think if we can expose students to different ideas, different cultures, again, it makes them that much more competitive in the marketplace.
In the Fort Wayne area, we have lots of large companies, BAE Systems, Fort Wayne Metals, General Motors, Raytheon, Harris Corporation, and the list goes on. We have a lot of employers that want our engineering students.
Indiana Tech, I think, continues to serve students even beyond their graduation. We really strive to keep in touch with our alumni on a personal level just to see how they're doing, but then also they want to give back to the university because of the experiences they've had here, so they want to provide opportunities for other students here as well.
As we welcome you back inside the Schaefer Center, Joe Northern, Caden Linder, delighted to have you with us. Again, the Warriors, as it stands right now, coming in at 6-10, or 6-5. I beg your. Nope, 5-5. It's Goshen that's 6-10. They're looking to get their 6th win here this season as we take a look at the starting rotations for each team. Indiana Tech looks a little bit like this. Some changes from last night. Bo O'Leary getting the start at a dynamite 5th set to try to get the Warriors back into contention. He wears number 11. Owen Elliott wearing number 14. Number 20, Logan Gieske, great evening for him. Ben Rosno wearing number 24. Dylan Poore, number 2. And Nolan Bosley wearing number 3. So again, that's your starting rotation as it stands right now for this Indiana Tech team. As we don't have Goshen's officially listed in the latest plays in their rotation, but once they settle down, we'll be able to point that to you. We can tell you Goshen is going to be in the white uniforms with the purple numbers, no trim, and the white purple stripe combo on the sides of the jersey, and the G above the numbers and Leafs up front. So for the Goshen Maple Leafs, the lineup looks a little bit like this. It's no surprise some of the leading attackers on the floor for them. Bruno Barak wearing number 2, number 16, Gavin Ferguson, number 18, Matthias Doladel, number 13, and Ben Koop, number 10, and Ryan Kabrick. Of course, Gavin Ferguson, as aforementioned. Andrea Biffy, again, going to be a key player to keep an eye on, as Caden mentioned during the pregame. And number 2, Roberto Barak. So again, that's how the rotation looks for Coach Wyatt Bollinger in his first season, leading the way for this Goshen College Maple Leaf squad. Meanwhile, Indiana Tech, they are going to be in the orange crush uniforms tonight. Libero will be in the black. Both Liberos in black on each side. So should be a fun one in store as the Warriors will serve first. And today's game on Indiana Tech, on the Indiana Tech Digital Network, is powered by St. Joe Place Apartments. A great place to live, close to campus. Visit them online at stjoeplace.com. A swing inside on the board for Goshen as they strike first. And again, one of the toughest things to do is try to go in on a back-to-back, and knowing the last night matchup that Goshen comes in with a win, Indiana Tech coming in with a loss, you have to think momentum is certainly really in two different directions when it comes to mindset.
Yeah, you're going to really have to kill the momentum after that last night's loss to Bethel, and Goshen coming in with a win. So got to kill the momentum, stay disciplined here early, and really come in, dialed in, and ready to win this game.
Swing tip in time for Dylan Poore on the board, 1-1. An advantage of, well, nobody here at this point. And again, a matchup that the Warriors have had the upper edge on the Maple Leafs since the inception of both programs at roughly the same time, but a tip deflection off the hands of Bosley. Going to go back for Goshen on the board. And that's one thing we've noticed, too, is that the front line attacking has not been on point comparatively for Indiana Tech. But both teams, young rosters, a lot of new key pieces, try to make themselves known.
Yeah, a lot of good things to work on, but got to find a way to get that front line going here early and really stay locked in the rest of the way.
Gieske goes to the slight tip, gets back over to Biffy. And a nice swing again on the inside for Ben Koop, the Ontario native, quickly on the board, and 3-1 advantage of the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, Indiana Tech tried to get that dig, just a little too short. Nice power swing right there for Goshen.
3-1 Maple Leafs. And Koop again continuing to bring it across. Little bouncer still kept live. Another high tip, one-hander, nice save coming in from Biffy. They go back again up front to Oljalati. Oljalati able to connect at the back of the box and on the board. And again, just good positioning, right place, right time.
Yeah, just really found the sweet spot in the Indiana Tech defense. Gets one here early, that's why they're up 4-1.
They're on a 3-0 run as it stands right now here in set number 1. But this one just sails out of play, so that stops the run for the moment. And now we'll look to see what the Warriors can do on the board, as we do see for the first time today, number 8, Jitson Urish, the sophomore from Jefferson, Ohio, who has certainly had to step up and be more of a role player for this Tech squad after getting some good freshman reps last season. And into the net it goes.
Got to get these serves here early. That one just short of the net going over, but Indiana Tech's got to stay locked in. You know they're going to want to win this one after last night's loss to Bethel.
Do have the both liberos, well, the one libero on the floor for Indiana Tech in Rosno, who again has been able to really try to read the floor on a good move as this one goes out of play, 5-3. And again, really the big word in volleyball, as we both know, is momentum. Once you can really rattle off on a quick 5-0 run, you feel like everything can go your way if you want it to go your way.
Yeah, seems like Goshen had a little momentum at the start of this game with that 3-0 run, but Indiana Tech starting to cut into this momentum.
Gomero able with a big swing across, block tipped inside the net, still kept live. Chance again for Algelati. Algelati able to sail it and get the deflection off the hands of Nolan Bosley. And again, kind of at least a dealer's choice situation where you feel like, okay, is this going to stay inside the box or should we continue to fight for it? So again, kind of tough to decipher if you should go for it or let it fly.
Yeah, decision making also is going to play a huge factor in this one. Can we get it started or should we not?
A long push from Rosno. That decision clearly in his advantage as he was able to get the deflection off the hands of Biffy. And the lead back to 2 for the Maple Leafs. 6-4, Goshen with the advantage. Indiana Tech trying to rebound after the loss against Bethel last night and a close 5-set thriller. Goshen trying to go 2 in a row after a win against Defiance in WAC play as well last night. Light lift coming in from the hands of Ferguson. Ferguson still trying to continue to keep it afloat. That's a light tip, gets back over to Rosno. Rosno again on the move, on the return, and a big swing again from Ben Coop. The Kitchener, Ontario native, able to get it up on the board. And again, the difference of what you see from men's volleyball comparatively with women's volleyball, concepts and scoring obviously still remain the same, but you notice again, the longer rallies, a little bit more of a thing.
Yeah, the rallies are a little longer, like you said, and a lot more power, so Indiana Tech's going to have to do a good job, and we've seen it early here for Goshen. A lot of power on the hits and swings. So got to stay locked in and disciplined the rest of the way.
And you have to be able to absorb that power, too, whenever those big hit opportunities come. But again, good decision-making, too, as this one deflected out of play by Goshen. It looks like off the hands of number 18, and Matthias Dolatl, the Montpellier, France native. Here comes Ben Rosno. The Oswego, Illinois senior, his brother and Alex Rosno both have been key parts for Coach Jordan Rosenberg and company, and he gets a quick ace on the board.
Yeah, they're going to need him to continue to do that the rest of the way. Yeah, it's a big ace right there for Indiana Tech, now down 1.
Absolutely. And an important down 1, too, where could go either way. 7-6 advantage of Goshen. Here's Rosno. It's going to be received by Biffy. High swing again from Coop. Going to be deflected. We'll see if they go for the two-hand attack, and they have to on that front from Carnes. Double block again up front. High swing, got it.
A lot of power and just found the sweet spot. Another big play for Goshen. They're on fire right now.
As Dolatl again able to find and get a quick point on the board. Or Dulade, I should say. Matthias Dulade doing a great job again, continuing to keep his Maple Leafs in it, but into the net it goes. So both teams running into the net early on here in set number 1. It's still an 8-7 game, a close 8-7 game, we should say, too.
Yeah, it's been back and forth the start of this one. Seems like Goshen just has a little bit more momentum. Can Indiana Tech cut into it here?
Currently, they lead 7-3 when it comes to kills right now, the Maple Leafs over the Warriors. But Tech having to try to get those points on defense and judgment. And a lift, You see the chase try to come in time for Nolan Bosley, can't get it to go. And the Maple Leafs again able to push forward. 9-7 advantage of Goshen. And number 9, Nash Hubik, goes up to the middle. This one swung down again from Poor, still kept live, looking for a net call. They say play on, and eventually deflected out of play. They were looking again for the lift five-hander, and we will see our first challenge for the first time today. One thing to note last night, out of the 8 challenges that were enacted during the Bethel game, Indiana Tech won 7 of them last evening. And it certainly made an impact in trying to make the match a little bit closer as it stood. But right now the score 9-8. Tech currently credit with a point. But again, with this the second season of having the match, or at least having the video review on hand, we're looking to see if there was maybe another hand on it. And I thought maybe there might have been a little reach in the inside, but again, could be completely different. What'd you see from your vantage point?
Yeah, I saw a little contact in the net, maybe got a little hand in there like you said, but Indiana Tech, I think, still gets the point here.
So it looked like maybe Goshen was just trying to avoid getting kind of the old saying, your hand caught in the cookie jar, as they say. But that could potentially be the case here. The Warriors trying to bounce back and get back to a 1-point advantage. And again, with volleyball, as you know, a 2-point advantage is a lot better than only having a 1, because it can continue to switch up back and forth we go. Besides the obvious of winning by 2 and losing by 2.
Yeah, you mentioned going back and forth, and that's what we've seen so far from both teams. Goshen had a little momentum early. Indiana Tech cut into it. Now Goshen back in front. But, yeah, good game so far. Indiana Tech's is going to really have to step things up on the attacking zone.
We'll also keep you updated today on men's and women's hoops as it stands right now. A lot of home court advantage potentially coming for this Indiana Tech Warrior team on the hardwood, with games we know will be right here at the Schaefer Center on Wednesday and Thursday night, likely Friday, Saturday, depending on today's final scores. And because of that, the men's games will be impacted and start times will be adjusted depending on the results today. So we already know the game against Aquinas is the point going to stay with Indiana Tech. As again, they saw a little bit of extra contact going in against Goshen. As the match against Aquinas, that is now a 1 p.m. start time coming up on Friday. And then Cornerstone, that game is going to be moved to a 5 p.m. start time right here at the Schaefer Center next Saturday evening. Of course, pendant on what happens in the results in the WHAC tournament, but as it's listed right now on IndianaTechWarriors.com, that is what the results will be. How about a big commanding swing up front from Ryan Kaprick on the board?
Yeah, that was a little too much power for Indiana Tech. Good swing up front, and yeah, unable to get that dig for Indiana Tech, but good job by Goshen there.
So the Maple Leafs doing a great job of having at least the commanding forwards and the blockers up front. Tech trying to find a way to counter it with some of the blocking energy of their own. Here's a swing tip down, got it. And they do a great job of at least getting those one-hand deflectors thinking, okay, maybe I've got this. Oh, wait, I don't. As that one going to go for Bo O'Leary, the senior middle blocker from Worthington, Ohio. So we see Jensen Urish now ready to bring this one back and over. And a chance to try to even it at 10. Just a little under midway through set number 1. Urish, end of the net.
It seems like when Indiana Tech gets something going, they just kind of, when they get it to go, it just kind of falls apart. We saw it right there, a good rally that last time around, and then that serve goes right into the net.
The second service error on the board tonight for Jensen Urish, so some work left to do. It's the Maple Leafs up 2. Now Indiana Tech trying to battle it back on the opposite side. Battle for the tip up for Gieske. Rosno going to have to bring it over, and he does. Nice dig again from the back row. Now what can the Warriors do here? It's Rosno able to get the deflection in time. And got a little more height than Nash Hubik was able to jump up to. And we're back to a 1-point game.
Yeah, it's going to determine who can win the long rallies. Indiana Tech able to come on top on that one.
11-10 advantage of the Maple Leafs. Indiana Tech looking for their first lead tonight if they can, or first lead today, I should say, if they can. As we see Logan Camaro entering the match, did not see too much of him last night in the match against Bethel. Dug up by Urish. High swing, this one blocked down from Camaro and launches it back the other way. And again, really the front line has continued to be dominated by 3 different Maple Leaf players, one of which number 18 and Matthias Dulaje doing a great job continuing to keep it in control.
Yeah, using that power up front, and the blocking from Indiana Tech just non-existent right now. Using his power to his advantage, just finding the sweet spot in Indiana Tech.
Here's Gavin Ferguson, able to get this one mid on the inside. Not going to matter for Zach Carnes, and a nice jump swing and in.
Yeah, once again, just finding the soft spot in the defense, gets that one to go through, and back and forth all game so far. Goshen just with a little more of an advantage.
12-11, and I go back to thinking that first 3-0 run that the Maple Leafs had to start the match has certainly made an impact. And again, when you try to play from behind, you play with a little bit more urgency, but you also play with a little more nervous energy, which sometimes could be a good thing, but not the best thing you want from time to time. This one up into the net, not going to matter. And a quad hit going to be called against the Maple Leafs, and we're even at 12. So just like that, the Warriors with an opportunity to reset it. And again, 2K Christian Cole ready to bring it over. The Denmark redshirt sophomore able to get an ace up and in. And you mentioned this at the top, Caden. He's the guy you need when you need to get a quick point on the board.
Yeah, he's leading the team in aces right now and just doing a really good job. And they're going to need him to step up the rest of the way as they take their first lead of the evening. Or rather, the day.
Evening if you are watching in Europe, we should say. Here's a swing across, coming in down from Rosno. Picked up again, opposite side, commanding swing. That one's just going to pinball off 3 different Tech players. And again, the arm we've seen from Delaje doing a great job continuing to command the attack for Goshen.
Yeah, they're just using the power to their advantage. No blocking up front for Indiana Tech, and that one just a little too much for them to handle.
13 all here in set number 1. That's Alexander Oljalati. Brought down by Carnes yet again. The one thing I've noticed, too, is that we haven't seen a lot of front row attacks on the board from Indiana Tech. As we take a look again at this one, powered, well, of course, by Indiana Tech, we should say. And we'll get that to you after this next point. We really haven't seen a lot of front row attacking today from the Warriors. Instead, having to rely again on kind of the mid-row play and hoping for an error. Here's a swing tip. This one deflected and out of play. Let's go back and take a look at a previous play. As you can see, Zach Carnes able to get this one quick and up in time. And again, number 1, the sophomore from Mount Vernon, Ohio. Gonna have to play a little bit more of an impact for Coach Jordan Rosenberg and company. He's leading the way in blocks at 38. And able to bring it down yet again once more.
Yeah, doing a really good job up front. Really using that power and getting that spike down. Going to need him to go the rest of the way. Crucial points from him thus far.
15-14 advantage of the Warriors. Swing again from Rosno. Tip again from Coop. Met up in the middle by Rosno. Now another chance. Poor. Nice dig again in the middle from Barak. And a nice cut down up and in from the hands of Ryan Kabrick.
Yeah, you see that front line again for the Maple Leafs. Just doing a really good job out in front. Too much to handle for the back row, the Indiana Tech Warriors.
And they're doing a great job of slowing it down, too, I should say. Here's another push inside the middle. Dunk down and up and in for Bo O'Leary.
Yeah, just able to go around the front end of the Maple Leafs, get it around, get it towards the middle. Goshen just came up a little short on that one.
So again, both very evenly matched teams of what we've seen so far. Again, the Maple Leafs, a few more games underneath their belt, but at 6-10 on the regular season. Indiana Tech coming in at 5-5 as this one sails out of play. So it could be, again, just kind of a tale of waiting to see how are we going to match up against each other. And again, height-wise, both teams very similar in height. But in terms of blocking energy, Goshen with a little bit of the advantage so far.
Yeah, doing a really good job up front, not allowing a lot to go through, but Indiana Tech's got to find a way to get that going.
And they do, certainly, thanks to Bo O'Leary with another commanding swing on the board to make it 17-16.
It's really been taking over in the front, using that left hand and really getting that power down, and Goshen unable to come up.
And we've seen really Indiana Tech try to pull away when it comes to late set situations. Not only this season, but saw that a lot in the 25 campaign as well. That's a one-hander deflected up and out of play. Off the hands of Ryan Kabrick. And Tech now with the 2-up advantage here late in the first.
Yeah, if you're Goshen, you don't want to start letting this down. Had a really good start in the first set. Just got to come back now, down by 2.
Dylan Poor continuing the run. It's received by Biffy. Olage blocked but out of play.
Seems like that's the first time we've seen this Indiana Tech front get a block going. That one just rolls out of play.
And again, really just continuing to command the edges up top and down low. And really trying to craft at least a block that's not going to be advantageous in one way or another. Certainly something to keep an eye on. That one is advantageous, however. Right up the gut from the hands of Logan Gieske.
Yeah, just comes off the right side and uses that right hand, uses power, goes right into the attacking zone. Just a really good job right there.
So love the swing in from Gieske to get it on the board. It's a 2-point match here in set number 1. Gamero, the 5th year, brings it across. Another block tip inside the middle as they rule it into the net against number 9 specifically, and Nash Hubick. And that's exactly the momentum that Indiana Tech has been looking for. You find a way to catch him catnapping a little bit, changes the vibe immediately. And Goshen wants to stop to think it over.
Yeah, Indiana Tech, their biggest lead of the first set. Now Goshen's, like you said, want to talk things over. They have a lot to work on. They had a really good start early in this one, but, yeah, got to stay locked in and disciplined the rest of the way.
We'll step aside. 2017 advantage of the Warriors, trying to go up 1-0 here in the opening set.
Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
Good luck, Tammy.
See you, David.
Things happen. How do you make the unexpected happen? Take the next step with an online degree from Indiana Tech. Start with a visit to one of our 2 new Chicago area enrollment centers in Naperville or Wilmette. You'll discover a wide range of affordable undergraduate and graduate degrees with flexible class schedules designed to fit your lifestyle and help you earn a degree sooner than you'd expect. Embrace the unexpected at Indiana Tech.
Welcome you back inside. 20-17 advantage of the Warriors as they've done a great job of continuing to command the front line on the board, and with a nice late set resurgence, we should say. Can they continue to keep the momentum going off the hands of Logan Camaro? Let's find out. And he does! A generous bounce, just barely, to make it a 4-point game.
Yeah, that one a little too close to call. No one really expected that one, not even the front line of Goshen. That one falls right through, and they needed that one.
Not even a foot on the bounce, too. This one not as generous, clearly, but it still gives you some distance, which I think is the most important thing you need at the end of the day.
Yeah, up by 3, a commanding lead, the largest lead that Indiana Tech has had. Got to stay locked out in front.
Prior to the 21-17, we should say.
There you go.
But it still feels very much like it felt like a 2-point game this entire time, only until late.
Yeah, Goshen had a 3-0 lead, or on a 3-0 run to start. Looked like they were going to come out on top. Indiana Tech, last-minute run here. They're doing a really good job. Now just need 3 more to close out the first set.
Would not be surprised if they kind of went with a fast serve mentality and just quickly just trying to go one man up after another and try to pick up the momentum in their direction and go for those quick swings. Here's Causer. Goes down to Rosno. Rosno still kept alive. Now a chance again for Ojolade. Ojolade gets his hand on it. It's Coop out of play.
Feels like we've seen a lot different play up front for Indiana Tech, doing a really good job getting a hand up there and blocking it. That one just a little too far out front for Goshen.
And you've had the veteran leadership up front too in Zach Carnes, Noah Bosley, and number 24, and Ben Rosno. So again, senior leaders stepping up early here in the match so far. 5-point game, 23-18. Tech trying to shut this one down. Double collision in the middle. Rosno going to have to lift this one upside. Set piece play potentially coming for Coop. That's dug up again by Cold. Another swing from Urish on the board and in.
A powerful swing right there and a really good job up front. One more. That'll do for the first set.
As Jensen Urish able to get it up and in. 24-18. Cold sails this one. Going to be picked up by Ojolade. Now they're going to have to rely on Ferguson to get it over. Potential set piece play upcoming. And it is! A late first set resurgence coming at the hand of the Warriors. So we take a look at that again one more time as they win set number 1 by a score of 25-18. We'll be back with the second coming up in just a moment. You're watching Indiana Tech men's volleyball powered by SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there's so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
We have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan hats, lawn gnomes. It was amazing. It makes it so worthwhile to be a Warrior. Go Warriors.
You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior.
We welcome you back inside Indiana Tech with a nice late first set resurgence. Able to take set number one, 25-18. Joe Northern, Caden Linder, delighted to have you with us. Again, started off rather slow for the Warriors, but found a way to really pick things up, especially in the late set surge at, the 19-17 mark. Felt like a completely different set from there on out.
Yeah, they did a really good job towards the end of that set. And one thing we mentioned at the top of the broadcast is momentum. That's really going to take swing here. Indiana Tech now with a lot of momentum heading into set two after that tough loss to Bethel last night. They're going to be wanting to win this one. Up 1-0 at the start of the second set.
Again, take a look at key leaders as it stands right now for Indiana Tech. Again, not really too many leaders when it comes to kills on the board, but no surprise, Bo O'Leary leading the way. He's 5 of 5 right now. No errors, by the way, we should mention for Indiana Tech. Only one attacking error from the hands of Logan Gieske. Zach Carnes, he's 4 of 6 right now on kills to total attacks as well, and then a slew of other players with 2 and 1 respectively. Meanwhile, for Goshen, looks a little bit like this. Again, no surprise, Ben Coop continuing to lead the way. He is 5 of 9 with an error on the board. Alessandro Ojolati, 3 of 6 with an error in the meantime as well. So a lot of different energy could be crafted up here in set number 2 as this one goes out of play and back on the board for IT.
Yeah, that one's just a little too strong coming off the right hand. Good start here early for Indiana Tech.
On the floor right now for the Warriors, looks a little bit like this. Number 3, Nolan Bosley. Got number 6 in Ryan Clauser. Number 20 in Logan Gieske. Is this swing going to be brought across? Number 2, Dylan Poore, also in there. Number 11, Bo O'Leary. And number 24 in Ben Rosno. It's brought up opposite side. Here's Poore. This one deflected, able to get the tip up and in. And that was one thing we saw Indiana Tech really didn't see a lot of late in that second set, playing a little more mindful too, and not trying to force the point if they didn't have to force the point.
Yeah, just want to play super conservative here in the second set. Already up 1-0. Just got to play smart volleyball here.
Here's a light tip from the hands of Kabrick. But another swing off the hands of Gieske. And a great job of, again, able to force those deflections up and over. And the Warriors off to a hot start, 3-0 here in set number 1.
Yeah, they got momentum swinging their way. Goshen's got to find a way to cut through this momentum and climb back in this one.
Meanwhile, on the floor right now for Goshen, you have number 6 in Biffy, number 9 in Hubrick, number 16 in Ferguson. You also have number 13 in Coop, number 2 in Burrock, also on the floor. And number 10 in Kabrick. As this one going to be deflected and back for Goshen on the board. So that stops the run for the moment, but 3-1, exactly the start that you're looking for if you're Coach Jordan Rosenberg and company.
Yeah, really nice start out in front for Indiana Tech. Got to continue it the rest of the way here in set number 2.
Currently the leading attacker on the floor right now, Ben Coop. Leading attacker in this match, we should say. He's also led the way in aces with 22 on the season for the Maple Leafs. Gets the dig now. Brought up to Alessandro. That's way out of play. They were looking to maybe see if it kind of batted off the arm, because I saw a hand go up saying, hey, wait a second. But again, really, whether it's a tactic or not, very difficult to overturn that.
Yeah, just not the right angle from up here. But yeah, try to get that one overturned. 4-1 here, Indiana Tech. Nice start.
Poor. Get this one connected out for the hands of Kabrick. And just a little miscommunication off the tip. So again, shake it off if you're the Warriors. And if you're Goshen, like, all right, what do we need to do to find a way to at least force those deflections? So again, the Warriors found a way to able to adapt from that, as they had a little bit of trouble of trying to defend the big initial attacks in from the Maple Leafs. But again, just try to tire them out and then push forward could potentially be the strategy. There's a one-hander coming in from the hands of Ojolati. This one up into the net, not going to matter. As you see number 11, Bo O'Leary, jumping around, continuing to lead the way, and we are seeing that senior leadership continuing to strike a little bit more. As you see number 25, Logan Gamero, and Jensen Yurish can be back into the match. Gamero, the fifth-year player from Floyd Knobs, Indiana. Sails it up the middle. Gets this one, another block again up front. It's off the hands of Ben Rosno.
Yeah, it's something that Indiana Tech really struggled with early in the first set, found a way to dial it back in, and that's another big play for them.
And also, too, the frontline energy certainly feels a little bit different, too. Again, they're on a little bit of a good rotation right now and want to try to continue to keep with it as much as they can. There's a deflection, that one in time. As Ojolati, again, kind of the point you had to battle for. Either you let it drop in and you're going to regret it, or you fight for it and say, hey, at least we tried to go for it.
Yeah, at least they're playing some smart volleyball here in the second. But Goshen's really going to have to dial back in. Did a really good job finding the sweet spot when they were hitting it towards Indiana Tech. Got to find a way to come back from this one, only down by 3.
Backline serve coming from the hands of Ferguson. This one going to be deflected up the middle and on the board. As you can see, number 9, Nash Ubrick, trying to at least get up and go for it, but could not make it count. And so the Warriors back up by 4.
Yeah, once again, that front line for Indiana Tech really stepped up here in the second set. It's doing a really good job. Something they struggled with in the first. Found a way to dial it back in.
Here's Christian Kolb. Already 1 ace on the day for him today. Make it 2.
Yeah, he's been the leader in aces on the season. Gets another big one for him here.
That is his 20th of the season so far, counting the 2 today to make it 8-3. And the Warriors now certainly riding in good momentum. Here's Colt again. Nice swing over to Coop. Nice little jump deflection. That one's going to go back. And a clear reach over going to go against Zach Carnes as he had a little bit of that wrist over in time. But we'll look to see the debate with Coach Jordan Rosenberg and company. But how much of the hand went over, though, a little bit to be debated.
Seems like they'll keep things where it's at.
So they'll give the point to Goshen. Shows 8-3. Should be 8-4 advantage of Indiana Tech. Now it's adjusted. Received by Poor. Goes back to Cole. Block tipped and in time. And a great craft again coming in from Ben Coop on the board to able to get it a big commanding swing, but really not forcing it to that left side, kind of slicing it a little bit.
They know that's not where they want to go early in this one, but yeah, Goshen doing a really good job here, trying to climb back in this one.
Ojolati able to sail this one up and over. High tip inside the net and back on the board, and now all of a sudden the Maple Leafs, they're on a quick 3-0 run, kind of taking advantage of the Indiana Tech mistakes. So again, if you're the Warriors, you just kind of need to wipe it out, reset a little bit.
Yeah, this is kind of what we saw here in the first set when Goshen had that 3-0 lead. Indiana Tech climbed back in. You want to stay dialed in the rest of the way for Indiana Tech.
One-hander off the hands of Ojolati. Not going to matter into the net for Nash Ubrick. And a nice 3-point advantage for the Warriors as they lead it 9-6.
Yeah, big factor here is staying out in front. 3-point lead for Indiana Tech. Good job so far here in the second set.
Ben Rose now ready to bring this one over. He's had a great day thus far. Just looking for his first ace. He's already got an ace on the day, we should say. As this one deflected in time for Zach Carnes, and a little bit of the light attack on that too, mind you. You don't really see like a lot of like the light tips to try to strike things forward, but Indiana Tech, they've been known to strike those when you least expect it.
Yeah, not fooled on that one. Great job out in front to stay disciplined and really a key factor in their 4-point advantage.
Roseno with a close one, but yet another block up front this time for the hands of Zach Carnes. And the lead back to 5, 11-6. Again, a key matchup for these two teams. Tech coming in at 6th in the league, Goshen right behind them. A win will at least try to push them a little bit closer to that top 4, which hard to imagine that you're thinking about postseason tournaments as it stands right now, but it's only 7 weeks away. Here's the handoff coming in from the hands of Bosley. Now another chance, pushed up, down low, and got it. A commanding swing again from number 2, and Bruno Buddock the split Croatia native.
It's what we saw here in the first set. Goshen used a lot of that power, really taking control of this Indiana Tech team. Got to stay dialed in, do that the rest of the way if you're Goshen.
Dojlade sails it out of the box. Take a look right now. Again, service errors. Both teams actually fairly even, 4-4 when it comes to the service errors. But the big key to look at right now is the attack errors. Goshen has 6 on the board. Indiana Tech with 2. Kills 17-14, an advantage of the Warriors. The 3 aces also certainly help too. Here's a tip big in now once more. Chance again for Cold. It's going to be brought up now from the hands of Ferguson. Able to hit this one high. Ferguson again connects down low. Got it. And again, an illegal back row swing going to go against Goshen. And the Warriors now up by 6 halfway through the second. And the Maple Leafs want to stop to think it over.
Yeah, these little things for Goshen really just not in their favor. Had a really good start here in the first set. Just unable to do it here in the second. Got to dial back in.
Meanwhile, there's other games going on right now on the Indiana Tech Digital Network. In fact, about, 200 yards away from where we're sitting right now, or standing right now, over at Warrior Athletic Field. In fact, it's the #1 team in men's lacrosse taking on your 6th-ranked Warriors as they are taking on Kaiser. But right now, 8-3 advantage of Kaiser as they are midway through the second period over at Warrior Athletic Field. But again, a really good early season matchup in men's lacrosse, a top 6 matchup, mind you. So again, something to keep an eye on. Jeff Mahoney's got you for that one, 8-3. Advantage of Kaiser over the Warriors. But again, a Warrior team that plays very well at home for men's lacrosse.
Yeah, it's always interesting when you see a 1 versus 6 matchup earlier in the season. It's really going to come to fruition when you get into postseason play. But 1 versus 6, it's a great matchup.
Absolutely. Taking a look right now at the top 10 of the men's volleyball poll, according to the NAIA. Now let's do top 15, why not? And a bunch of teams have really shaken up the standings. And again, keep in mind, this is only really week 3, week 4 when it comes to it. The Masters out of California currently leading the way at 100 points in the voting. San Xavier out of Illinois, they're still at the 2nd spot. Park University and Missouri Valley, both Heart of America opponents, really leaping up in there at 3 and 4. And Campbellsville, a team that Indiana Tech was supposed to take on January 28th, but had to back out due to that little snowstorm that we had. And we say, quote-unquote, little snowstorm. Currently number 5 right now in the country. And fellow conference foe in Lawrence Tech, they're currently tied for 6th in the latest top 15 polls. This one's going to be out of play off the hands of Coop and back on the board for IT.
Yeah, seems to be finding their groove here in the second set. A lot of things going their way, and Coach has got to be proud of what they've done here so far.
14-7, the Warriors doubling up and doing a great job of trying to pick apart the Maple Leaf mistakes. A near one bouncer back on the board for the ace obviously won't go. One-hander again from Elliott. This one deflected in time for Ryan Kabrick. And again, once you can just find that spurt of energy and get that big swing in time, certainly changes the momentum.
Yeah, it was a big dig right there for Goshen and got the power swing to fall. Going to need that momentum to sink the rest of the way here.
14-8 advantage of the Warriors. They lead the match 1-0 here on a cloudy Saturday afternoon. You could certainly feel the Ides of spring continuing to try to develop. And the double hit going to go against Goshen. As they lead by 7. They make it a 15-8 affair. And again, historically, this has been a matchup that the Warriors have dominated. We'll tell you about that in just a moment. As the swing across, it's going to be brought back up by Biffy. Hand up on the left side. Nice save from Rosno. Going to have to lob it over. This one deflected. Nice save again from Poor. This one connected into the stands. Not going to matter. And a double hit going to go against, it looks like against Kabrick. Let's see officially if it will be, and it is against Kabrick.
Yeah, it's the second time we've seen that here in the set. Little mistakes like that is not what you want if you're Goshen. Got to dial it back in.
Well, in fact, the Warriors have won 11 in a row against the Maple Leafs. The only time they lost, interestingly enough, was the first matchup they had against each other back in January of 2020. Doesn't matter. Another quick point on the board. And just like that, the Warriors, by my count, are back on another 3-0 run, but now presently on a 7-1 run here in set number 2.
Yeah, doing a really good job, and it all starts up front with the front line, just able to dial it in from what we saw in the first set.
Here's Poor. Got it. And again, this is a lot of the Indiana Tech team that we've come to expect to see, but again, credit to the coaching staff, Jordan Rosenberg and company, for trying to stack their schedule with some tough opponents early on. They're going to be headed to Arizona for some tough play from the West Coast teams coming up in March, too. It's all about just trying to get prepared for what's to come. But again, really the Warriors doing a great job of being on display. Speaking of on display, here's Logan Kieske with a point on the board.
Yeah, you mentioned them traveling out. They're just a really young team trying to find their groove here. Doing a really nice job, especially against Goshen here today.
And they've won 11 in a row against the Maple Leafs, dating back to 2020. So they lost the first match between these two teams, but since then, it's been all Indiana Tech. This one going to be deflected and back on the board for the Maple Leafs. So that stops the run for the moment, but not before 5 consecutive on the board for IET. And just like that, it feels like a completely different match at this point.
Yeah, definitely. Compared to what we saw in that first set, where Goshen really had a lot of momentum coming in, Indiana Tech has really cut into it.
Here's Coop. It's going to be received up the middle by Roseno. Now another chance for the Maple Leafs. One tip again from Kieske. Another chance swing. This one deflected down from Ferguson. Still kept live. Another push and out of play. Dylan Poor was trying to keep it inside the box, but just sails out just a little bit. And the Maple Leafs now enter double digits, 19-10 here in the second.
Yeah, they're trying to cut into that run that Indiana Tech just had. Good job on that rally to stay locked in and dialed.
Ben Coop now. Again, one of the dominant performers for this Maple Leaf squad. Lock tipped, but deflected out of play. And a good heads-up play, too, mind you. As Ryan Kabrick, the freshman from Houston, Texas, couldn't keep it in time, and the lead now back to 10. It's the Warriors doubling up. Trying to double up the match, 2 games to none, 2 if they can. Into the net, won't do it here. Well, again, if you want to catch the Warriors at home, next weekend will be your last chance to catch the Warriors at home until March 20th when they welcome Lawrence Tech at 7 p.m. and then March 21st when they welcome Rochester Christian, again, because of that Arizona road trip coming up in the early part of March. There's another push again. This one tipped down, brought inside for Kieske, back on the board, up and in. Urish also a big part of setting them up inside, too. Making a 10-point affair, 21-11.
Yeah, that front line again for Indiana Tech just been really dominant here in the second set. We've just seen a lot of things going their way. Doing a really nice job.
And they're going to try to continue to do it as such. Here's Logan Gamero now. Gamero sails it back row to connect over with Biffy. Brought up again by Poor. Kieske on the light tip, set piece play upcoming. Tipped down from the hands of Ferguson. Another swing from Roseno. This one a little too high. Was hoping that he would try to get some contact on it, but just was a little too high. And the Maple Leafs have the chance to still try to stay in it. 21-12 here in the second.
Yeah, we saw that light touch right before the power swing. They were trying to draw them off guard, see if you can get a hand on it, knock it out of play. Unable to do it right there.
Here's Gavin Ferguson, the Paradise, Texas freshman. Able to get this one up the middle. High swing tip from Roseno, but also going to be deflected out of play. Well, hang on. They're looking to rule a potential lift and collision. And actually, it's A.J. Piner had the hand on it, but they will go to the video monitor to take a look on it. And again, just trying to think what they would look for potentially maybe an illegal lift, illegal back row. I think that's the one thing I could think of, but should be a clean point for Goshen.
Yeah, it just looks super clean, like you said. Nothing really out of order we saw right there, but yeah, Goshen should get this point unless something changes.
21-13, the advantage here in set number 2. Will they take a look at that? We'll step aside. You're watching Indiana Tech Volleyball, powered by SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything.
So they rule it as a net violation against Goshen, so the Warriors immediately pick up the point to make it now 22-12. It was the one thing that I thought maybe would have overturned it, but it looked a little close to see, was he close in the net, was he not? But again, the video review working out for Jordan Rosenberg once again.
Yeah, must have seen something we didn't see up here. Good challenge right there for Indiana Tech.
In fact, Rosenberg, he went 6 of 7 last night in challenges against Bethel. Right now, a perfect 2-0 today. As this one brought down inside for the Maple Leafs, 22-13. As Indiana Tech trying to continue to shut this one down if they can. And continue the winning streak against Goshen, where they've won 11 in a row coming into today's match. Alessandro Ocellati. Battle again up the middle. A nice bounce and a reach-in coming in from A.J. Piner on the board, the redshirt freshman.
Yeah, nice soft touch up in front on the front line, just going right through every single Goshen defender. Doing a really nice job.
So Piner getting that in, and we're going to start to see some new faces on the court, including number 5, Matt Dingen, ready to bring this over. Jesse Biedenbach, the Fort Wayne native, coming in. And number 10, Shane Hemphill. Biedenbach, again, a player that we've seen quite a bit in the high school circuit last season. Here's a push again now on the left side. This one batted up the middle. Can't get it to go. Able to get this one up and over. Nice bat. And down and inside for Ben Coop yet again. So Coop able to get the quick point. But I do love the strategy to try to see, hey, we've got these guys up front, but we've got some young guys that can make some noise too.
Yeah, just trying to get some rotation in there, see what works going into these next conference matchup here for Indiana Tech.
The other push across from Dochelade. Biedenbach able to craft the block, deflected out of play. And the Fort Wayne native able to get it on the board to make it 24-14, a key component of Coach Jessica Holtclaw's Spartans last season too, mind you. Now Jessica Holtclaw and assisted part-time with this Indiana Tech men's volleyball team. There's a nice swing again up the middle coming from the hands of Ben Coop on the board. Push again now from Hubrick. Light tip again, Urish. Nice save again in the middle coming in again from Hubrick. Another swing, this one tipped and got it. Ben Coop able to get the quick block on the board and in time. And all of a sudden the Maple Leafs now trimming it down to 8, 24-16.
Yeah, seen a lot of good things from Coop here for the Goshen Maple Leafs, really trying to dial them back in this game.
Not going to matter here as, again, you said it was going for Coop, and it went for him, just in the opposite direction.
Need him to step up right there, but Indiana Tech now up 2-0. Can they close it in the third?
We'll look to see if that's the case, try to continue the winning streak against their conference foe as we go to the third. 25-16 in the second, 25-18 in the third. Back in a moment, you're watching Indiana Tech men's volleyball, powered by SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our camera. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there's so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
We have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan hats, lawn gnomes. It was amazing. It makes it so worthwhile to be a Warrior. Go Warriors.
You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior.
We go to the third, an advantage of Indiana Tech as they lead it 2-0, 25-18, 25-16. We welcome you back. Joe Northern alongside the libero and Caden Linder. Again, really, you kind of take a look at this. It feels like a tale of two games as Goshen did a great job of at least providing the energy and the momentum early, but Indiana Tech has seemed to all but suck it right out of the building.
Yeah, they just came out swinging, especially in that second set. Saw a lot of good play up front. It's got to dial it in here in the third. Can they come out on top and close the sweep?
That we shall see. Do you want to get you updated on the other game that's going on about 300 yards away from us? As it's a little closer now. Kaiser still leading over the Warriors 9-5. They are in the late stages of the second, if not about to head to the intermission, as they just called a timeout, so they're about to head to the intermission. So once we're done here, we encourage you, go check out that matchup against two top 6 teams in the NAIA for lacrosse. Meanwhile, we've got a fun one brewing here at the Schaefer Center as Tech brings it across off the hands of Rosno. Rosno again on the dig. Light tip again on the inside pass. Another swing, tip over to Poor. Got it.
Yeah, the senior right there with some nice power using that right hand, going straight at the defender. Unable to come up for Goshen.
As you can see, Poor again one more time, able to just to try to get it and throw Ben Koop off out of play. He's done a great job of doing just that. Another swing again from Rosno up the middle. It's Koop. Another one-hand opportunity. They go back to Poor. This one deflected out of play, and he kind of felt like that was coming too. As again, just kind of the instinct of just try to get it up and out, but maybe it's a little too far out, we should say.
Yeah, just try to get that one over and out of their way, just too far out in front.
Taking a look right now in terms of kills, 25-20 advantage of IT, 16-9 in terms of attack errors. They'll make it 26-20 in terms of kills. That's another one back on the board for the Warriors, make it 2-1. But the hitting percentage is the one big stat I want to take a look at. Indiana Tech coming in at .267, Goshen at .060 here in the start of the third set.
It's been a huge reason why Indiana Tech's led this game so far.
There's another big swing down the middle again. From the hands of Rosno, but another block up front, this time coming from the hands of Nolan Bosley. And it really seems as if once they can find an energy of at least getting the quick blocks up front, they like to take advantage of teams that seem to get a frontline opportunity but play a little more patient. Tech is very go, 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 go from what we've seen.
Yeah, and sometimes they're just going to have to dial it back, but not right now. Up with a lot of momentum over Goshen.
Coop able to go back row. Connection back over to Cold. Cold sits it inside, and it looks like a reach-in lift going to go against Goshen anyway, so not going to matter. Make it 4-1 advantage of the Warriors. A little debatable. I thought I saw kind of an edge hit on the inside line, too.
A little tough to tell up here, but it seems like the officials got the right call.
4-1 advantage of the Warriors. They lead the match 2-0. High tip deflected, got it. And again, kind of one of those ball battles that if you don't go for it, you lose the point. If you go for it, all you can say is that you tried. And we saw that again from Ryan Kaberg again up front.
Yeah, the decision making right there in full swing. Indiana Tech doing a really good job here to start the third set.
Again, starting on a 5-1 run here in the third, trying to continue to keep the momentum in their direction. This one batted back row. They get another chance. A nice sneak attack coming in from number 3 at Nolan Bosley.
Yeah, seems like that one was going to go up front. Just a power swing, but caught Goshen off guard. Gets the easy point for Tech.
Again, we haven't seen too much of that, too. The little sneak attack thinking that you're going to go for the set, but instead strike in for the kill in the meantime. Tech getting the first 6 of 7 points here in the third. Make it 6 of 8 as this one goes out of play. But nonetheless, though, a great start and really just that extra push of momentum you're looking for. As we will get a conversation with the line judges, so no timeout, but it looks like a potential conversation on the line judges as they go back to the video board again one more time. So again, from my vantage point, it looked like it was a little bit out of play, but I wonder if they maybe saw just some extra contact or a little push. Anything additional you saw?
I really didn't see anything. I mean, it looked like it was out of play from up here. Didn't really see too much down in the net. So we'll see what the officials call right here.
We'll take a look again with the video play. Has benefited IT. We'll look to see how this is going to go as they go for the confirmation. As their down official goes to the confirmation. It's a Warrior point, and they rule it. A little bit of extra contact against Goshen. As it maybe bounced off a shoe. I think that's maybe the one thing I did notice, as it was a little close to what appeared to be number 2 at Bruno Barak off the toe. Nonetheless, it keeps the Warrior run going up 7-1 here in the third. Make it 8-1. And we're starting to see Owen Elliott really make something of his own here, the San Antonio sophomore outside hitter. Elliott goes back row to connect over to Barak. Barak trying to continue to keep it alive. Goes to the lift in on the inside corner. The inside edge, we should say. This one going to be thrown up out of play, and that is what ends the run, but not before Indiana Tech rattled off 6 consecutive points to make it at one point 8-1.
Yeah, really good job here in this third set, just trying to close things out and get the sweep over the Goshen Maple Leafs.
And they're trying to go for their 12th consecutive win against Goshen and try to continue to keep that momentum in their direction. And a win would help them get back into the conversation in the WAC standings, potentially in that 5 line, maybe the 4, depending on how some other matchups continue. And keep in mind, Tech has played the fewest amount of WAC matchups of anyone, as they were able to get the fingertips and back on the board. Goshen has played 5 WAC matchups, and a loss for them would put them near the bottom of the table at 1-5 as it stands. But a win from Tech would bump them up to 3-2. Would still keep them in 6th for the moment, but it'll certainly make the matchups against Cornerstone and Mount Vernon Nazarene a little more impactful. So this one brought down on the inside for number 16 in Gavin Ferguson. 9-3 advantage of the Warriors. Here's Kabrick, head of the net.
We saw in that first set, Goshen just kind of came out hot swinging. Haven't seen it much since. Indiana Tech's front line is doing a good job. Just a miscommunication serve right there for Goshen.
So again, it just feels like a completely different matchup since midway through that first set. And since then, the Warriors have continued to find a way to dominate and take the advantage of the points on the board, 11-3 here in the third, and look to try to sail this one home if they can. Of course, going to take a little longer than 11-3 is what we know, but nonetheless, it seems like everything has gone their way here today. It's a high swing. This one down and inside for Ojalati. So Ojalati able to answer on the board to make it 11-4. Scoring leaders as it stands right now, it is still led by Ben Coop. He is 7 of 22 on kills and total attacks. 4 errors on the board for him. Alessandro Ojalati, 4 of 10, 3 errors on the board for him today, and 1 block assisted for Goshen. But another swing this time for Logan Gieske.
Yeah, it's just been super dominant up front. That front line continues to be a key factor in this Indiana Tech lead.
As Gieske just continuing to light it up and get those quick points in time, as they lead it 12-4 here in the third. By our counts, live stats showing 6-1 the score, but we can tell you Dylan Poor leading the way at the moment with 8 kills. Bo O'Leary with 5, but you got to think Logan Gieske certainly added a few more in the meantime too. As this one goes out of play, Goshen with an opportunity to reset. And the sophomore outside hitter from Nivano, Italy. And Alessandro Ojalati. Ojalati gets it inside to Poor. High swing tip from Rosno. Nice block, one-hander. Big save from Rosno. Now another reset again upcoming. Swung on from Carnes. Got it to go. And you talk about making something out of nothing. That is making something out of nothing if you're Indiana Tech.
Yeah, that one just looked a little whack. It looked like he wasn't going to be able to save it. Gets the one hand over. Just a big kill. Big momentum swing.
13-5. The Warriors certainly in all but control here in set number 3. So they've just done a commanding job here today. Another one into the net, back on the board for IT. And the route, safe to say, is on for the Warriors.
Yeah, just been controlling this game from that first set where they came back, where Goshen had a really nice start. Yeah, the road is continuing for Indiana Tech.
As this one sails out of the box and a chance to reset for Goshen, 14-6 late here in set number 3. Reminder, we'll have our player of the game for you at the conclusion of this one and get you set up for next week's matchup, next week's doubleheader against Aquinas and Cornerstone. Another opportunity for the Warriors to potentially push themselves back in that top 4 conversation, as Cornerstone currently at that 5 line. That'll be a big one on Saturday. Aquinas at 1-4 in the regular season. So again, something to keep an eye on as well. And a double hit going to go against the Maple Leafs to make it 15-6. So a good chance for the Warriors again after the loss to Bethel, but you get the wins against Goshen, kind of the mid-range teams in the WAC play. Could really make a difference when it comes to setting yourself up for success in March and April.
Yeah, they're just going to have to continue to beat these lower-end teams, getting prepared for the top of the conference. And, yeah, like you said, March and April are going to be a big month for the Warriors.
And including now with Bethel and Lourdes in the top 15 at 10 and 11 respectively. Their stock's only going to continue to go higher, too. So steal one against one of those teams, you find yourself right back in the race. There's a block up into the net, not going to go. Still kept live by IT. And another commanding swing from who else but Zach Carnes.
It's been a physical and dominant player up front for the Indiana Tech Warriors. No answer from Goshen this entire game.
Carnes with his 6th kill of the night. He is 6 of 9 when it comes to kills and attacks. And the lead at 16-6. A little low roller in the meantime for the hands of Rosno.
Momentum shaking from that first set. It's all Indiana Tech here.
And 17-6 the score. You have to think potentially no timeouts going to be coming from Goshen, as they know, just like, all right, let's just get out of here if we can. But Indiana Tech on a nice bounce back effort here today. This one sails out of the box to make it 17-7. Meanwhile, the Maple Leafs, their schedule looks like this. So they've got a tough one in Sylvania coming up on Tuesday against Lourdes University. Of course, the one thing that we have to mention about Lourdes, next year we'll not see them in the WHAC or at all as a program, as the university will be concluding operations at the end of the school year. So again, no matter with the competition, it's always tough to see a school exit operations, unfortunately. (18-7) as this one swings across down low and got it.
Haven't seen much of that firepower hitting we saw in that first set for Goshen. Saw it right there. Nice set, nice kill for the Maple Leafs.
So the quick swing inside again for Ryan Cabrick. The lead back to 10, 18-8. Meanwhile, Goshen, they'll take on Rochester Christian and Lawrence Tech next weekend over at Ruth Gunna Gymnasium. And to the net it goes, back on the board for IT. Make it an 11-point affair, 19-8. So again, once this one is over, feel free to head on over to our other stream we have for you today as a top 6 matchup between Kaiser and your Indiana Tech men's lacrosse teams, as Jeff Mahoney will take you for the rest of the afternoon. And again, if you know, with Summit City Sports, we've got a whole slate of high school basketball for you tonight here on the network, so be sure to join us for that as well, beginning at 6 p.m. So this one dunked down and on the board again once more for Goshen. And we are looking to get some updates when it comes to basketball, as the women were in action earlier today. So they took on Cornerstone University. That one just going final. Men are in action presently. They were able to get the deflection this time. And a big attack from number 7 and Albert Cabrick, the Waterford, Michigan transfer. So we do have a final 65-39 as the women get the win over Cornerstone. The men taking on Cornerstone right now. But again, because of basketball, the games next week will have adjusted start times. Kiwanis, slated originally for a 7 p.m. game, it's now a 1 p.m. game on Friday. And the game for Cornerstone, originally scheduled for 1 p.m., will now be a 5 p.m. game next Saturday right here at the Schaefer Center. Of course, we'll have it all for you right here on the Indiana Tech Digital Network, powered by Summit City Sports. Here's a double battle up the middle. This one back on the board. And a lift going in against Ojalati to make it 20-10. Gavin Ferguson now ready to bring it over. Here's Ferguson. Gets this across. High swing off the net, but out of play. So I think there's a tale of, again, trying to figure out what works, as we have a mix of transfers and some underclassmen on the floor right now for Indiana Tech. However, one key component of that, number 13, Zeke Litchfield, who had been one of the dominant players in boys volleyball in Fort Wayne last season. Here's a push again. This tip brought down. Still continue to pinball and keep it alive to Ojalati. Ojalati continue to keep this one afloat. It's Litchfield able to get it up and in.
Yeah, this front attack has just been absolutely dominant for Indiana Tech. Continues it right there. 4 points, and you're walking out of here with a sweep.
Litchfield getting his first kill of the night. He picked up 5 blocks in the loss against Bethel last night. But again, this is just kind of the matches you need. Get a good bounce back and try to get that energy back up, especially knowing the schedule at hand. End of the night it goes. And you can see Coach Jordan Rosenberg trying to see what works, what doesn't work components, because you're still, granted, you're 11 matches in the month of February, but you're still starting to see what rotations are working, which ones aren't. And I think that's going to be something we'll continue to see develop at least over the next couple of weeks. That's a nice swing tip down from the hands of Matt Dingen on the board, and the lead back to 10, 22-12. Oh, now they ran up the stairs. I didn't realize that. We saw Bethel do that last night in the win. Just kind of going up and down. But again, whatever you can do to keep the momentum in play, you can see the coaches now laughing out there like, guys, what are we doing here?
They're just having some fun.
That's what it's about, right? Here's Jesse Biedenbach ready to bring it across. Coop tipped again in the middle. Biedenbach again. A nice swing. Tip down low. Pinball. Nice save again for the hands of Biffy. They look again to go for the quick swing. Tip down and got it. A.J. Piner able to get it on the board. With AJB, as he's affectionately called, to make it an 11-point game, 2 to go.
Super dominant second and third set for Indiana Tech. Seen it all night long and just doing a really nice job.
So they lead it by 11, 23-12 here in set number 3. As this one is going to sail out of the box, and you got yourself a match point ready to go. A lot of different nominees you could go for our player of the game today. As they call a timeout, we'll keep it here. 23-12, or at least take a look again at the video monitor as they roll the point on the board for IT, but could come back for Goshen. But a lot of different nominees for player of the game. I will have to give it to Dylan Poor as it stands right now. 8 of 15 total attacks, 3 errors on the board, 1 block assisted. But honorable mention again to 3 different blockers. Zach Carnes, really, when he went on that run midway through the second, it felt like this game was just out of reach for Goshen at that point.
Yeah, another big name for today, Bo O'Leary, just being super front and dominant for the Indiana Tech Warriors, but all 3 can easily be deserved as the player of the game for IT.
O'Leary going 5 of 8, no errors, 3 blocks assisted. So, again, you got to think O'Leary is going to be a name that they will continue to keep an eye on here at Indiana Tech for time to come for sure. Meanwhile, again, scored 24-12 as they're taking a look at the point below to see if that is going to stay with Indiana Tech or go back to Goshen. Nonetheless, unless Goshen goes on an absolute tear and a meltdown from Indiana Tech, you have to think that the Warriors are going to improve. They're standing to 6-5, 3-2 in WHAC play. They do roll it back for Goshen, so they take the point off the board to make it 23-13. So no timeout, but again, another challenge to make it 23-13. And so now the Maple Leafs looking to try to continue to extend the match down 10 late here in the third. Nope, not on your feet, PA. One more point for you, then you can say on your feet. Here's another swing by Biedenbach. I hope he didn't jinx it at that point.
I hope he didn't speak a little too soon.
Because you heard that too, of course.
Plenty of times.
Who says we haven't made that same mistake too? Here's a swing in from the hands of Morgan. Able to get this one deflected down low and out of play. Now you can get on your feet, Warriors fans.
Here they go.
Here's Dingen. Able to go back row on the connection. This one batted away and still kept live. And so the Maple Leafs still very much alive, but trail by 9 and going to need a 10-0 run to say the least. Or a 9-0 run, we should say. But again, a great team effort led by O'Leary and Poor and Bosley today. Gonna sail out of play, that's how it ends. And so the Warriors get the home win as they lift up one of their own in number 5. And Matt Dingen on the board, and that's how this one will come to a close.
Yeah, just a really nice job from Indiana Tech. Had a slow start where Goshen was up 3-0, but yeah, nice job overall. Indiana Tech gets a big win, big conference win that they're going to need for momentum swinging.
So they now move to 3-2 in WAC play. We'll have some important matchups coming up against, as they will welcome Aquinas and Cornerstone. Adjusted start times for that. Aquinas is now a 1 p.m. game on Friday, and depending on how things shake out in the men's basketball tournament, will be either a 2 p.m. start time on Saturday or a 5 p.m. Again, they'll have to follow the men's basketball team to see what that'll be adjusted to on Saturday. Caden Linder, any final thoughts before we get on out of here and toss it back to lacrosse?
Yeah, just you got to give credit to where credit's due. A really good job up front for Indiana Tech. Just a lot of things that they had to work on from that last night's loss to Bethel. Seems like they had a couple things going. We'll see how that train continues the rest of the way. For Caden Linder, Joe Northern saying so long from the Schaefer Center. Warriors winners in straight sets. 25-18, 25-16, 25-25. Head over to lacrosse right now. Top 6 matchup between Kaiser and your Indiana Tech Warriors. So long, everybody.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Tech goes by many names. Business, fine art, forensic science. Some think it's just technical. But really, tech means everything. Scholarships, internships, championships. It's professors who make time for you one-on-one. It's putting everything on the line. It can be fierce. It can be fascinating. It can be awesome. Most important, it's believing in yourself and what you have to offer the world. Because at Indiana Tech, Warriors are prepared to lead a significant life.
You're busy. You expect to say no sometimes. But what you didn't expect was a chance to say yes to a college degree while keeping your life. Indiana Tech is now offering Chicago area students undergraduate and graduate degree opportunities taught online by experienced faculty who care. Learn more at one of the new Indiana Tech enrollment centers in Naperville or Wilmette.